Yeah, grab them as. Then I should definitely come to this one. This is really good. Okay, Joel, thank you for coming in today. Let me explain the format of my course. So the top level objective of this course is to help anyone to get better at persuasion negotiation. We're going to talk about the key attributes to persuasion, and I want people who attend this course to be able to quickly, in a short amount of time, learn a lot. Okay, does that sound good?
Yep.
All right, fantastic. So I don't want this to take more than 3 hours of your life. So today is 1 hour. There's self-study for about an hour, and then there's practice for another hour afterwards. Okay. So I'm hoping that in 3 hours you will get better at negotiating with bosses. You'll get better at negotiating your salary. Yeah.
Okay.
You'll get better at negotiating with your colleagues. Like if you want to trade some work or have someone on stage, cover your beat, maybe you can work on that, and that will make you more persuasive.
Right.
Partners and also your friends. Maybe you have friends that are slackers and you want to get them into proper shape. This might be helpful there. And I also want everyone to feel more confident about approaching negotiation. Okay, so that's the format and the results that I'm hoping to get. Okay, let's dive into the resources first. So for the middle part of the course, right after today, there is some self-study and homework, and that will involve watching some classes. So I've already got these classes over here. They're master classes. They're the primary classes you can study. Sorry, for the second part of the classes, they're on LinkedIn Learning, and you have to use the Bukit Vista iMac because that's where my LinkedIn is LinkedIn. So there's no way to do it remotely. But for these master classes, this is the login, this is the password, and this will get you in so that you can view these classes. Now, I've already watched all these myself, and I've curated them. I think they're really, really effective for persuasion and negotiation, so there's some things you should take a look at. One is given by Chris Voss. He's an expert FBI negotiator, so really life or death negotiations.
Okay.
This guy has a lot of really, really interesting tactics. So that's really valuable, hopefully for the rest of your life. He talks about how to negotiate salary, which I thought was very funny and also very valuable. And I completely even agree with it. I would say that this is an excellent tactic for anybody that can get a raise. So that one is really, really good. And then for somebody who wants to actually become an entrepreneur, Sarah Blakely, who had this female Spanx, which is like an undergarment company. Really good information about how to hustle, how to sell, how to persuade people to buy your products. Really good stuff, and I think everyone can watch that. So that's a quick introduction on the course material. Okay, let me show you how this is going to work. There's 3 parts. Today is the first part, and basically we're going to talk about the introduction to persuasion negotiation. So the very first part is understanding what you guys think persuasion negotiation is, and we're going to have a Socratic discussion, so an open discussion for question and answers. Then we're going to go into the basics of persuasion about listening, identifying key decision points, identifying objections, and buttoning up. These are all very, very basic tactics for good persuasion. If we do get time, I'd like to do some practice and do the demonstration. So that's that. After we finish the lesson today, you guys will go home and you'll have some homework and study. So please watch the master classes. That will fill up your knowledge so that you'll be able to do the third part, which is where we get together and we practice some of these really awesome skills that we learned from the first class and also through the self-study. Okay? All right. So this is the milestone progress chart. And what I want you guys to do is to just measure your own progress. I got inspired by SMART and the career metrics, so I thought this would be great. Come on in if you want to join this. This is persuasion and negotiation. This will get you a higher paying job one day. So interestingly enough, this allows us to self-manage, and your names are all here. Once you finish today's lesson, please just cross it off so I know where you are, and that gives the class a good idea of everyone's personal progress. Okay, all right, are we ready to begin? All right, fantastic. Let's go ahead and start. I'll start with the same questions that I gave last time, and this is an open-ended discussion. So the first question is, what is persuasion? Let's go to Vita. What do you think persuasion is?
Basically, I think
I don't know, the way I see like persuasion and negotiation is like kind of like really interrelated one another. So in persuasion is like in order to actually persuade others, you are kind of putting like negotiation also in the discussion itself. So in the way that we're talking about persuasion is that the person or maybe the subject that we discussed the situation about will somehow understand your point and also agree about what you're talking about.
Let's go to Vanna. Vanna, what do you think persuasion is?
Wait. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me now? Okay. So for me, persuasion is about like I want you to do something. Please do it for me. And after the person like we're doing something for me. So it's actually like change someone's mind because you really understand about this the way this person think, and you take something like you pay attention with what he or she say, and you figure out what is the things that this person need, and yeah, voila, it's like this person like follow what you want. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, interesting. Let's go to Joel. Joel, what do you think persuasion is?
I think it's too extreme if you say like follow what I want, but for me it's more of like influencing, like changing a bit part of like the argument, but not necessarily have to follow what I want.
Okay, great. Okay, too extreme to say do what I want. Okay. Okay, all right, excellent. And let's go to Alvin. Alvin, what do you think persuasion is?
Actually trying to get someone to follow the goals and like to do the same thing.
Okay, get them to do what you want. Okay, all right. And let's go to Tris, are you part of this? Okay, Tris.
Okay, sir.
Persuasion.
For me, persuasion is a process to get trust from strangers.
Oh, all right. Okay, all right, very good. All right, so this is excellent. Okay, so everyone has already come in with very good starting points on understanding persuasion and negotiation. I will add some comments in this. I think the key most point of persuasion, somebody told me, is the art of getting somebody to do what you want them to do, but make them feel like it was their own idea. Okay? So it's the art of getting somebody to do what you want them to do, but making them feel like it was their own idea. Okay, so there's something that's really important in that. The idea of, I agree with Joel here, Vanna, if you want to get someone to do what you tell them to do, that's not persuasion. That's just order, right? Like you go to McDonald's and you order a Big Mac and they give you a Big Mac. You don't need to persuade them. Hey, look, can you kind of like give me a Big Mac? That would be really nice. And it's more of a direct line of order and they follow. So that's not so much persuasion. That's just command. Persuasion comes in a different circumstances where somebody doesn't have to do what you ask them to do. In fact, you have to court them. You have to like kind of understand their point of view. Okay, and I think also as a comment, the best people who do persuasion are not so much thinking about what you want somebody to do. It's better if you try to understand what their problem is. Okay, so instead of like thinking so much about, oh, I have this thing and I want you to do it, think about this, right? Can you move, please? Okay, so that's telling him to move, right? Well, what if Alvin was unpersuaded? What if he's just like, no, I don't want to move. I can persuade him by going like this. Hey, look, I got a nice chair for you over here, and it looks like there's some dust that might fall from that ceiling. Would you like to have a seat? Right? So in that particular case, what I'm doing is I'm solving a problem, right? So I'm looking at, it might not be a real problem either. It might just be a perceived problem, or it could be seen as being a potential problem. So in this case, Alvin is, he's doing what I asked him to do, but it's not a command anymore. It's more kind of like I've tried to persuade him. Okay? Alvin's very nice. He's very, he's okay. Stand up. I persuade him to stand up. All right. Anyways, all joking aside, persuasion is understanding a lot about how the other person thinks before you can actually make this change happen. Okay. So let's ask the next question then, which is, how effective do you actually feel at persuasion? Let's go to Tris first. Tris, how effective are you at persuading other people? Tris is muted.
Okay. Sorry, sir. Can I get?
How effective do you feel, Tris, about persuading other people?
For me, for right now,
How persuasive are you? How persuasive do you feel?
I feel like. Sorry, sir.
Seberapa percaya Allah kapasitas yang
I see. To be honest, right now, sir, I have no capacity to persuade.
He's good. He's persuading himself. He can't do it.
Yes, because in the conversation, I'm still like listening more, so, like still learning. Yes, that's why, because I think my persuade. That's why I want to learning persuade and negotiation, sir.
Okay. All right. Very good. Let's go to Alvin next. Alvin, how potent are you at persuasion?
When I want to persuade someone, understand what are their needs and wants, and we just attack them with their weak point.
Okay. Let's have
When you're unguarded.
their weak points. Okay. All right. Interesting. Let's go over to Joel. Joel, what would you say? How do you feel about your persuasion capability?
I would say there's really no measurement to like how persuasive I am. I think it depends on the topic and depends on the person that I talk to.
Agree.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And let's go to what was it? Dana.
So what should I say? Yeah, I mean, like based on the things that I do right now, it's actually like I see the condition where you right up there.
That's good at all. I think your expression.
Yeah, it's kind of like trying to understand in the first place actually what is the problem of this person, and what is the things that I have right now. Is it my things? Because like first do research before meet this person and or like talk with this person, and when I already understand about the condition of the person, what is the things, the problem that this person might face. I see like based on the conversation, what is actually the pattern that this person like keep mentioning a lot of time, and is it like connect with the product that I bring, which is the value of the product. So we're trying to meet our needs actually and expectation, and from there we create something in the middle where the product can be the answer. So
Okay. The product can be the answer. All right. Next one to Rita.
I would say like I'm really bad at this one because, but I would say that I would agree with Joel as well, but it depends on the topic and the person. But I think I'm very bad at persuasion because I'm really like my self-defense is like too high, so I don't really like get myself like if I don't think like how do I say? Like for example, if I go like bargaining to like going to the market, right? If the price is like too high, instead of like putting me forward to negotiate the price, I'll just like leave. Like, yeah. I don't know, like,
Okay. All right, interesting. All right. Okay, this is actually a really great class. And the reason I like this is that you guys are digging out a lot of insights that are even more rich than the previous class. Okay, so let's go to Tris. Tris, I'm not persuaded by you that you're not good at persuasion. You brought in a lot of leads. You're going out there, you're talking to people who are strangers. They trust you enough to give you a phone number and enough where they're actually handing over their property a few months later to be managed by Bukit Vista. So you might try to persuade me that you're not good at this, but I do think that you are actually capable of gaining trust and understand a good person. And it might be because your tactic is actually exactly correct. You're listening and observing. And the whole point of persuasion, I think, that is really effective is how well you listen. If you listen really well, then the person is giving you a lot of information and also a lot of participation to persuade. Now, remember, this idea of, where's persuasion? Getting somebody to do what you want them to do, but making them feel like they wanted it in the first place. This is very important persuasion. This is the idea of including somebody. If I come to you and I say, hey, look, you should buy this, you should get this, Vita, this would look great on you. You're like, yeah, that's fine, but you don't know me. You don't know anything about me, right? Why would I believe you? It's like this. Imagine this. Imagine this. Transport. You want transport? No. Right? I'm fine. But what if the transport guy, instead of coming and saying transport, he said, hey, are you planning to walk around the rest of Bali? Are you gonna walk? Hey, don't you feel tired from walking around? Is this really how you're gonna see the rest of Bali, by walking around? How many days are you staying? Oh, 5. Oh, actually, you can even begin this way. If I was selling transport, I would persuade this way. I would say, hey, sir, how long are you gonna stay in Bali? 5 days. Great. Are you gonna walk everywhere in the next 5 days? No, I plan to see everywhere. Well, what else do you plan to do? Do you like paying high prices? Do you like looking around, spending a lot of time looking for this? No. So you kind of need to understand what this person's problem is, or at least highlight what their problem could be. And then you can say, hey, look, I can bring you cheaply to see all the key places you want to see in Bali. So that's what they really want, and that way they get participation into it too. So we have to observe, and if you feel like you're not being persuasive, it's related to this thing that Vita and Joel talked about too. It could be maybe it's not the right person, or it could be the right person, but it's not the right time, right? So think about this. When you go down the freeway, you see all these signs that tell you, that try to persuade you, eat here, Burger King, right? McDonald's, KFC, deals everywhere. But you're not hungry, so you just drive right by. But all of a sudden, 7 o'clock p.m., and you feel hungry, you're persuaded, right? Because you have a problem. So understanding and listening and observing the person to understand what they really want is the most key part to actually being very persuasive. And so, good on you, actually, Trish. So I think you've already discovered this. You're just not sharing your secrets. But listening, observing is one of the key points of persuasive, being persuasive. And Alvin said that too as well. And so he knows what's going on. He got a job recently here. He persuaded us to hire him, right? So these are also key points. On whether or not there's no measurement on skill level, Joel, I think persuasion is kind of a state of mind, right? It's sort of like, do you feel ready? And if you ask me, I'm always ready to negotiate. I mean, I'm just born ready to negotiate. It's just kind of like, just like you're born ready to walk or to jump or to do whatever else. It's not so much of, do you even need to be good at it? Just pretend you are, right? Just pretend you are, but learn to actually develop more. You can look at your success cases, right? In the last 5 times you asked somebody to do something, did it actually work out to your favor? Or did they persuade you not to bother them or to do something else? So if you're seeing that you're succeeding more, that you're able to persuade people to go with your way, then that's one quick way to measure. But no matter if you don't know whether to measure or not, I always like to say just pretend you can do it. Because if you pretend you can do it, then you'll be far more persuasive. At least you believe yourself, right? So that's the beginning. Okay, on Vena, yes, so much of persuasion is understanding what the underlying problem is. Understanding research helps, and listening and observing is that research. Connecting your solution to that particular problem, and that's it. And on Vita, tell me more about what self-defense is behind it.
I think like, for example, like in the market, right? If I bargain and the people say that's too low, and I was like, I kind of feel bad as well. Like, you know, like, do I that cheap? Then,
Oh.
you know, like am I that cheap? Like, instead of like thinking like that, I just leave.
I see.
Exit doing that.
Okay.
Conversation.
Great. Okay, I got a great comment for that. So exit the situation, leave. So what you're telling me is that makes you feel sort of like embarrassed in a way, right? Like you're like self-conscious. Okay, and it's perfectly normal when you start with negotiations to feel that way. Your focus is on yourself. Am I persuading this other person? Am I doing this right? You know, what is the person thinking of me? In a really good persuasion, the irony is just think of how to serve the other person. Think of how to serve the other person, and most likely you'll get your way done better. It's really ironic and it's really weird, but it actually helps. For example, Mr. Vendor who's coming up to you and saying, hey, look, I want to sell you this phone for this amount, right? Instead of bargaining, you can say, hey, look, you know, I see you have a lot of phones here. Is there anything that has been sitting here for a while that you don't want anymore, right? Or you can even ask, hey, look, you have any new product coming in this week in an unrelated stance, right? And you say, yeah, I've got like the iPhone 11 coming in. Great. Do you have anything that's been sitting here for a while? Yeah, I got this one over here. It's been here for a few months. Okay, got it. And I can see that you have, how many employees are you? You have 5 employees here. Do you pay them well? Yeah, sure. You know, I'm a good boss. I pay everyone well. Great. So why don't I offer you this? I'll take that product that's been sitting around for the last few months off your hands, and you'll give me a discount so that you can sell your iPhone 11 and you can pay your employees. So if you understand, I mean, that's a little brusque, right? But if you understand what the problem that this person is actually facing as a vendor, and the challenge they're facing on that particular day, then you know, like you can actually be more helpful. This is why it's always a bit easier to negotiate with somebody who has the same context as you. If you're in the hospitality industry, sometimes it's easier to negotiate with somebody in the hospitality industry. Be like, yo, you want Mondays off, right? So why don't we work something off so that you get your Monday off? It's like, how did you know I want Monday off? So really try to understand what it is about the other person. Think of yourself as a doctor in this particular case. So a doctor doesn't think about, ooh, you know, your guts and your blood makes me feel icky. I feel like, I gotta get away from this, right? No, your blood, your guts, all that weird stuff is actually interesting to me, and I want to figure out a way to solve your problem. So the more involved we are in the other person's problem, the better chance we're actually going to have a solution that is persuasive. Okay, last question is, what would you like to do, or what kind of skill sets would be beneficial to you to learn so that you would be a better negotiator? So how would you see yourself being more confident negotiating? To Vita first.
think it relies on also like on my side, like how do I prepare on like the before jumping on the discussion of the persuasion. Like I mean, like if I jump to the conversation knowing nothing or knowing so little, I'll be like out of words to explain to the other person like why I'm thinking this way instead of that way.
Okay. Right. Okay, let's go to Vanna. What would you like to learn that would make you more confident about negotiation? Okay, Vanna, I'm gonna have to skip you. Think about it for a moment. Okay, Alvin, what would make you more confident? Okay, wait, what would make you more confident? What would make you feel more confident about negotiating?
I think the early part where we still have to understand the person's position. What are their wants and needs here? And sometimes I feel like myself empathy. The empathy towards the person itself.
Okay. Yeah. All right, very good. Let's go to Joel. Joel, What kind of skills would you like to learn in order to help you feel more confident about persuasion?
Okay. I do agree with Vita that we need some background information before jumping into like the negotiation. And other thing is that the more exposure I get into negotiating more, I think I can be more confident.
Ah, okay, more experience. Okay. Okay. All right. Next, Visa or Venom. Venom. Okay, we're back to you now.
We cannot hear your voice.
Then you might have to refresh. Your voice is gone. You're gonna have to refresh. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, as they're refreshing, oh, they're back again. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah.
Venom.
Okay. Berantem dulu. For me, like I need to know how actually I can build and upscale the empathy in the first place.
Build and scale an MVP. Build and
Empathy.
scale empathy. Okay. Very good. All right. And let's go to Tris. What
Okay.
did you make you more confident about?
Yeah. Okay.
Negotiation?
Basically, agree with Vita. Before we going to the field, we must have the direction or prepare before the jumping. Okay, I'm agree with that. But for me, more important is how often we doing a negotiation, because negotiation is a skill, right? And we must do the way and do it, then do it and do it. So yeah, for me, more important how often we practice the negotiation. Thank you.
Practice. Okay, great. These are really great starts. So let's go ahead and jump into it now. So what I'm hearing from people is that they want to know how to prepare and they want to get some extra practice on negotiating. Right? That kind of summarizes it all. Okay. Part of the really good news of any negotiation is about fact finding and discovery. So one of the things I noticed about any negotiation, it's the very first stage you have to get to is you have to build enough trust. And this doesn't mean like they'll marry you or they're going to give you a gun and say, hey, look, protect my life. This is just enough trust that they are willing to tell you what their problems are, right? You need to get enough trust from whoever you're negotiating with such that they will tell you and confess to you what their problems are. Now, if they're not going to tell you what their real problems are, it means that they don't trust you. It means that if I tell you what I really am worried about, then you might use it against me, or it's not worth my time, or whatever it is. So your first step is to understand enough, like empathy, right? Enough like to get to the point where they can start sharing their problems with you. The third stage is where they can start sharing their feelings with you, right? And this is important. You want to get that trust so that they can share their problems, but more importantly, at the end, how do you feel about these problems? Okay, let's go back to the case of, let's say, hey, let's do a simulation here, right? Let's do a simulation. I'm going to pretend to be a transport person offering transport, and Alvin is going to be just walking down the street, right? And let's see if we can try to make this as lifelike as possible. So Alvin's walking down the street. I'm transport, and I'll be in. Okay. All right. So, hey, sir, how are you doing today?
Very well.
Hey, look, I see that you're new in Bali. How many days are you going to be here?
A week.
About a week. All right. How many days have you spent so far?
This is my first day, actually.
First day. Oh wow. Okay. All right. Hey, are you tired? Do you want to have a seat and we can have a talk?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Great. I see that you're not busy. You're walking by yourself, so maybe you'll have a talk. Great. So, why did you come to Bali?
Heard a lot of good things about Bali, and this is my first time visiting.
Okay. Well, good things. What kind of things did you want to see? What kind of good things have you heard about?
A lot of beach, a lot of beach clubs as well.
Very nice.
A lot of things to do, a lot of places where I can unwind myself.
Right. Wow. Okay. So beach clubs, places to unwind, and how many places do you want to see while you're here in Bali?
So I was thinking I wanted to actually roam around Bali itself.
Okay.
Just like the Jimbaran, Uluwatu,
Okay.
all around places.
Wow. You want to go to all these different places? Jimbaran, Uluwatu, Ubud,
And in a week,
in a week. Do you have anybody who's bringing you around right now? You don't have
I
anybody.
self-travel and just on Google Maps.
You self-travel with Google Maps. Okay, all right. And I mean, you've got a data plan already, right? And you're on this or
Just like not like detailed plan.
okay, all right. Sounds interesting. I have a confession to make. I stopped you because I'm actually a driver,
Okay.
and I actually happen to know some of the places that you want to go to. I know a lot of good beaches. I've been driving for 15 years. Would you be interested if I took you around to see some of these places?
For a good price, I can.
For a good price. Okay. Well, I mean, I don't want to work cheap, but I also want to give you a good deal. Do you have any idea of how much a person like me is worth?
How much do you think?
Okay.
500,000.
500,000. Okay, great. We'll do it. Sounds good. I'll pick you up today and we'll go around. And my car's over here. I'll bring you around. And we can go see all these beaches. What beach do you want to see right now? All of that. Okay, off we go. All right. Okay, that's just a simulation. Of course, there was some stretches in there, but let's break that apart. Did you guys notice anything that I did that, let's say, would be helpful or different than your regular guy on the street asking for transport?
Actually, I like the part where you mentioned that these places that you've been here driving 15 years,
Uh-huh.
and I like showing that you really love that place.
Right. Okay. That's a good buzz, right? So that's a sizzle. That's like a way of essentially demonstrating value and expertise. Okay. Anything else? Okay. Remember, the very first step, let's say, of this particular case is really think of it this way. I just need to get him to sit down. That's the very first step, right? That shows already just an act of trust already. If he's willing to sit down, then he isn't going to run away, right? So this is why all the restaurants always ask you to sit down first. Notice, getting somebody planted so that you can have a conversation with them. Now, the whole idea is that I want to have a conversation and understand what Alvin needs as a visitor here. And I know he needs that, he's traveling by himself and he wants to see all these different places. I know that he has an idea of what he wants to go for. And in the back of my head, what I'm thinking is this, right? I'm thinking, hey, look, he wasn't very hard. He didn't object and give me a lot of pushback. But let's say, for example, you say, no, I don't want to go with you. I can say, hey, look, there's a lot of drivers out there that will take you, but you don't know them. At least you spent 5 minutes with me, right? So you can kind of understand the idea of selection fear, right? That this person is new here, and you need to understand what their needs are. They aspire to see all these beaches, these clubs, but they probably want to avoid bad circumstances. They want to avoid getting ripped off. They want to avoid wasting their time seeing a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. They want to avoid all these unpleasantnesses, right? So whenever you negotiate, try to think about how do I remove the unpleasantness as, let's say, I'm the negotiator, and how do I reinforce your aspirations? How do I talk up and get you to really fall in love with the idea of all these beautiful places that we're going to travel to, that you're going to see, and I'm going to offer you the chance to be the first person to see it before everyone else because I have experience, right? So think about ways of actually underscoring the value points from the clues that this person gives you. That's just a quick demo on that one, but let's move on. Let's try this, right? Let's talk about what is a case of negotiation, Vena, that you feel like you failed in, and why did you fail in that? Vena,
You say
yes. So tell me a case of a recent negotiation where you didn't feel like the results were very positive.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong, yeah. You asked about like the condition where I think like I fail in the negotiation, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So there is a time like actually I was think about I understand every pattern of every like client that I met, but it turns out like not everyone not everyone has the same problem, and not every like even like based on the pattern like there's a lot of based on statistics there is a lot of bunch of information that I get, like everyone just the same. But there is another time also, like I found out in a condition I applied like a one strategy of negotiation, and it's not implemented in a 1%. So it's kind of like it failed to meet the problem of this person with my product, and this person actually not the one that really needs what I'm trying to bring to him. And it turns out about like I fail in understanding the feeling of the person. I fail in get the trust of the person. I fail to solving the person the problem of this person. So what is the point then? So it's kind of like using another pattern to one point where it's actually like not matched at all.
Got it. All right. That's a very interesting case. And you may remember, or if I may suggest, is that each case of persuasion negotiation will be different because everybody has different ways that they trust other people. Everybody has different kinds of, maybe people share the same problems, but everybody's feeling about these problems is unique. Some people, same problem, they feel maybe they feel light about it. Maybe they feel it's funny. Some people feel like it's serious. Some people have different intensities, right? So really exploring and understanding the feeling is the key to actually getting there. So, all right, should we do a simulation now between two different people? All right, let's pretend Joel just called Vita, all right? Let's pretend Joel is a Bukit Vista lead generator, and she's going to call Vita. And she's going to ask Vita to, he's going to ask Vita to join Bukit Vista. Let's see how this works out, right? All right, Joel.
Okay, wait.
Phone call Vita.
So this is like a phone call, right? It's not really
Yeah,
like face to
this is like a phone call. So we'll turn off the cameras so you can't see us.
I'll turn off mine then. Okay.
You see
There
you.
you go.
Okay, go ahead, Joel.
Yes.
Don't be hard on me, Vita.
All right, now Joel, you just rung the phone, and you know Vita is a contact that Trish has passed you, right? So Trish went on a construction site, found an owner. Her name is Vita, and she's expressed no interest in joining with Bukit Vista yet, but she's building a property in Chengdu. It's a 3-bedroom villa. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, you can say yes whenever you want. Hello. Hello. Am I talking to Vita? Hello. Am I talking to Vita?
Sir, can you reply like count 1, 2, 3?
Okay.
Okay. All right, I'll set it up. Joel, set it up. Okay. All right. Joel has picked up the phone. It's first ring, ring. Second ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello. Am I talking to Vita?
Yes, I'm Vita. Who's this?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Who's this?
I'm Joel from Bukit Vista. We're a company that manages villa all over Bali and Jogja. And I heard from a colleague of mine that you're building a villa right now. How is it going?
Yeah, actually, it's right now it's almost finished. Hey, is it really urgent? Can I talk to you later because I'm actually driving right now.
No problem. Take your time. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, Joel, come back. Joel, come back.
Okay.
All right, put your camera back on.
Okay.
All right, so let's go over this. All right, I think we all have comments on this one already. Alvin, what did you say?
Safety for driving first.
Safety for driving first. Okay. Vena, you must have done this a few times. What do you say?
What?
What would you say about Joel's performance?
Or if Vita say like she's really busy, or I am like busy, or I'm important or not.
Yeah, I'm driving now.
Now.
You didn't be in the same room with us.
No,
No, I was asked like what is the things that Vita say. Vita say like she's driving.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I will tell to Vita like I actually have the property that's same with you, so I can send you the revenue of this property, and you can take a look. After that, when you arrive, I think I can chat you like around like 10 minutes again.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Okay, all right. So let's dissect that. Joel, first sentence is absolutely correct, right? Make sure you're talking to the right person. Hi, Joel. Am I talking with Vita? Better yet, you could actually introduce who you are first. Hi, I'm Joel from Bukit Vista. Am I speaking with Vita? That cuts down the number of back and forth, especially because a call, you don't know what's happening on the other side, right? So once again, think about service. Think about building trust. You're being courteous by introducing yourself so that this person doesn't need to ask you right off the bat. Okay, so that's one improvement. Second part, she confirmed that she's building a villa, and she confirmed that it's almost finished, but she says she's driving, and then you left. And that's not good. You're not being persuasive if you leave, right? So at very least, persuade them, hey, I know it's not a good time right now. Can I call you back in 30 minutes? And then that will produce her to say,
Oh, okay. All right, maybe in 1 hour because I'm driving like before, or maybe I'll let you know when I arrive.
oh, wait, okay, right. Let's say she said that. I'll let you know when I arrive. And then what would you say, Joel?
I say, drive safe and I'll call you back.
No, you don't say that. If she says, I'll let you know when I arrive, you have no more control on this negotiation anymore, right? So you can say, hey, great. I heard that you're going to arrive in an hour. I'll call you back to make sure that you arrive, right? Something to get you back in control, right? Anything. It can be like, okay, here, I'll wait for you for the next hour, and if I don't hear back from you, I'll just give you a call to make it easy on you. I know you probably are very busy today, right? So leave it there and just essentially affirm that you will get back to them, right? Otherwise, you've lost control of the deal, and they haven't said no, right? If they say no, that's different. If they say no, then it's because you suck and or whatever your product is offering is not great. But if they're just sort of indecisive and they can't like figure out what to do, that is still under your control. So don't lose control over the conversation by letting the client tell you what to do. Just say, hey, look, I'll let you finish driving. I heard that you need about an hour or so. Don't worry about the follow-up. I'll make sure that I follow up. All right. So thank you very much. That's it. It's better than nothing. It's better than it's not perfect. If you're more skillful and more graceful, you can of course say better things. Hey, one less thing you have to worry about. I'll call you back in an hour. Whatever it might be, right? I can't think of one right off the top of my head right now, but it's important that you regain control, and that's why it's important not to be self-conscious. Be shameless when it comes to this, because otherwise, as soon as you go, oh, okay, all right, you'll never hear from that person again. Okay. Second thing you want to do is you want to get to the point right away. So talking about what Bukit Vista does is interesting or not interesting, but talking about money is always interesting. So I would say, hey, look, Vita, I'm Joel from Bukit Vista. Would you be interested in making money off this new property that you're building? Yes, I would. Great. Do you have 5 minutes to talk about it? No, I'm driving. Okay. When you finish driving, I'll call you back in an hour, and I will tell you how maybe we can work out a plan where you can make some rental money from this property. Would that sound good? Yes. And they're in. And you have started to actually gain that trust really, really quickly. Now, they might not believe you. I think you're full of shit, but at least you know that they like money, right? And you have something to work with. You have a basis of trust, which is the basis of the business relationship, right? Now, if it was dating, you could say, hey, look, are you in love? No. Well, would you like an opportunity to be in love? Right, I'm kidding. But
Not
that's
with you.
and let them say it. Let them say it up front. Well, not with me yet, but maybe if I could actually bring you out to have some ice cream, then you might change your mind. I don't like ice cream. You don't like ice cream? Yeah, I don't like ice cream. You don't like ice cream? Mirroring, right? Get them to explain more until they talk about what they do like. Okay, that was a quick simulation, but we can all see that there's little micro things that we can always finesse to build you to trust. Okay, let's go to the second round now. Let's pretend that Rita stopped driving, and Joel, you have called her back now, and you will continue again. Let's practice that for a few minutes and see where we go. Okay, all right, Joel, Here, you're calling Vita back, and you don't know what she looks like, so that's it.
I thought it's done. Okay.
All right, ring.
Hello.
Yes. Is this? Oh, this is Joel, the one who called before.
You're gonna. Sorry, I have a situation here. Wait.
There's a hospitality situation. Okay. All right. Let's pretend. Alvin. Okay. We'll pull Alvin in. Okay, we'll have to pull Alvin in. Joel's busy. So Alvin, pretend to call Vita and try to persuade her to join this one.
Hello, Vita.
Yes.
Is this Vita?
Yes, this is Vita. You're the one who called earlier, right?
Yes. So let me introduce myself. My name is Alvin from Bukit Vista Hospitality Service. Our company actually manages our villa. So I just heard from my colleague that you're actually building a villa for
Yes.
yourself.
Yes.
That's amazing, though. So how is it going, though?
So good. Actually, just like in the middle of building the villa, I got like the tender who's supposed to finish the villa ran away with the money. So it's supposed to be like done 2 months ago, but now it's in the finishing phase. But all good.
Well, wow, I'm very sorry to hear that, actually. So,
It's okay.
but everything is good right now?
Yeah, it's finishing. I just need to buy the furniture right now.
Okay. Excellent. So, I'm making this call regarding wanting to present you an opportunity to actually make a profit out of the property that you're making in form of rental income. Are you interested to hear about the opportunity?
Yeah, sure. I'm just curious, like, how would you make the profit out of it?
So we're basically our hospitality service has been 15 years in the market, and we're establishing a very good reputation and being able to sell the partner's property in
Wait,
the
what's the
tourism.
name of your company again?
So it's a Bukit Vista hospitality service. If you ever heard about it. Well, I think-
Unfortunately, no. So you said that you've been around for 15 years, but
Yeah.
sorry that I've never heard of your
That's
company.
okay. But I can introduce more
Mhm.
comprehensively about our company if I have the chance to.
Yeah, sure. Obviously.
Here's my CEO.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Let's talk about that. How persuasive was Alvin just earlier than? Yes, you can. Yes, you.
She's
Yeah.
following her.
What picking my nose? How persuasive was Alvin?
If I become Vita, I will not buy his things.
Right. Why? Why wouldn't you buy Alvin?
Yes. Oh, you want to know why? Okay. So actually, like I'm a villa owner, or a guest house, right? So it's something new for me, right? And in the same time, my property just finished, which is I lost a lot of money. I don't need like fucking like 15 years to fulfill my pocket. I need like something like directly inside my pocket. So if you're saying to me like you're like like you say like 15 years in the market, what is that? Like is it like you already exist like 15 years?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not that important for me. Like the important for me is like how you can fill my pocket in a like fucking like 1 month ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
I need
Interesting.
money though.
Comment on me. Okay. This is great. The actual thing here is here. Let me offer a piece of connecting advice. Alvin did say something that actually had a really good opportunity to bridge this client's issue, but I don't think he realized it, and he didn't close it. Actually, you actually had a huge opportunity here, and this was it. When Vita told you about the tender and the contractor who ran away, that was a great opportunity for a feeling call, right? This person has exposed to you now. They trust you enough to tell you about their funds, and you need to go in and ask, how do you feel about that, right? So let's say, for example, Vita has told you, hey, look, my contractor ran away, they didn't fulfill the tender. I'll be like, that's terrible. What are you going to do now? It's okay, I'll deal with it. No, I mean, seriously, is that a financial setback for you? I mean, do you need any help? Or how do you feel about this? Oh, I feel terrible, why does this make you feel terrible? I just got to oh and I can't trust anyone. Okay, all right. Well, what sort of financial circumstance are you in? Do you need now some money to cover that quickly? Yeah, I just lost like this much money and I want to cover it as quickly as possible. Well, here's what I think we can do. Now our company's been around for 15 years. We're not running away, right? And it's a good thing I found you today because most properties in your condition should see positive rentals within a few months of their rental. And the good news is actually the next few months will be rising in season. So maybe we can correct that feeling, correct that problem, and have you feeling good again. All right? So that is a perfect bridge then to understand what the person's problem is, and then how you can actually arrive at a solution that fixes that problem. The stuff that you talked about is selling. It's that selling is not telling. That's a common phrase that we have in sales, right? So if you list all your features, that's great, but you're not selling the benefit. 15 years, what is the benefit? No more running away people that you can't trust, right? Manages hundreds of properties, what's the benefit? Experience, expertise, so that you don't waste any more time with people who don't know what they're doing, and you start making money right away. Why? So that you can recoup some of this money that's been lost. So you got actually the person's trust fairly quickly. She was willing to tell you something that is fairly confidential right off the top, telling you the problems. Drill down to figure out that feeling, and then button up. That's the last step. So the button up process is essentially how do you connect your benefits connects to their problems. Not exactly a weak point. So you gotta think of it as like if you are sick, then medicine is going. You don't want medicine. Nobody buys medicine to buy medicine. People buy medicine to feel better. Nobody buys gas or benzene to buy benzene. People buy benzene so that they can keep on driving. So think about the benefit that you are actually proposing, and then link that. And then they don't have to think about what it means. 15 years means not running away. Efficiency, you can even talk about, hey, on average, it only takes about a month for any new property to get on board. You can start today. And so you'll be on your way to earnings revenue as soon as you finish in the next whatever. But you'll discover more about the feeling, and then you can actually address that feeling. Because everyone wants to feel better. Everyone doesn't want to feel bad. So that's the key. This is funny. No Lee was here because I was just talking about this with last week with Bayou. And so this is an interesting case of actually negotiation and persuasion. So Bayou was telling me that he feels a lot of times his biggest pain point is he figured out the problem, right? He has a solution, but yet people aren't persuaded that that's actually a solution. And so our discussion last time was about this. Did you go to the next phase? Did you actually figure out what people feel about the solution? Now, you might have a solution, like a doctor. A doctor might be able to say, hey, look, I just saw your leg off. You got gangrene, right? And you feel like that's a loss. I don't want to lose my leg. I mean, I've had my leg my whole life. But they need to consider your feeling, right, as a doctor. They need to say, yes, you have a leg and you've had it grow life, but you're not going to have your balls soon, and you're not going to have your waist soon, and you'll be shitting out like green sludge, and then you'll die, in a week's time. So I am making a decision for you to remove your leg so that the rest of you may live. And yes, it's not the best way, but you'll feel a lot better than feeling dead. So once again, the solution is the solution, but sometimes we do have to consider how somebody might feel about that and sell it to a way where they actually appreciate, hey, look, that is a solution that's better than not. And some of the, we're not doctors, and so we can't necessarily do this. And people have been able to walk away and die on their own. Let's say even if we do know the solution, but figure out how people feel about it and how your solution makes them feel better is the ultimate persuasion. Apple, Nike, aspirational brands are really good at it. They know you have a problem. They know you need a computer. But why is it that you feel so good using their products? Why is it that you feel so good using Marc Jacobs? Right? It's the aspirational aspect. It's a perfume, just like any other perfume. Any other perfume could do the job. But it's that aspiration, it's how you feel about it, that ultimately makes it really so persuasive. But unless you know how they might feel about it, you have no way to actually persuade them. So it's really important to drill down and feel that, get to that feeling, and then fucking up. Okay, that's it. That's the first class on persuasion. Emily, thank you for joining us. It's okay. It's recorded.
Okay, yeah.
And okay. So the next part is this. Please, everyone, go to this part and just fill out your milestones, so that we know where everybody is. Joel, for example, today is coming to the introduction. He's attending the first meeting, and then for the next milestone, please watch Chris Voss. He's really good. He's really good. They'll make you rethink what it means to persuade people. It's so not about like imposing your will. It's more about understanding the other person's thought process. So that is really cool. And I want you guys to learn two tactics. One is mirroring, and the other is labeling. These are really cool and really fun tactics. You can start practicing right away at lunch, with partners, with your girl boyfriends, with whoever you want. Mirror and labeling. These are cool. And if you do get a chance, please watch the Chris Croft LinkedIn learning about persuasion negotiations. Yeah? Okay, so that's the next step. And then I hope on Friday, I'll see whoever can make it on the Friday 2 p.m. course, Vita, Buddy, and Cynthia. And if not, then come on the next Monday course where I'll see you guys at 5 o'clock. Okay? Yes?
This will be, so with like the sponsor, like what is classmates for?
Oh, right. If this is a way of keeping everyone on track. Thank you very much, Vita, for bringing that up. I thought a good way to keep everyone on track is to have a sponsor. It's like AA, right? Alcoholics Anonymous. So Wyana will be nominally sponsored. Wait, actually, Wyana should be your sponsor now. So your sponsor is the person who is essentially, they're your leader. They're in charge of keeping you on track. Like a buddy, yeah, like a buddy. So Nana and Vita are co-sponsors, right? So Vita will keep Nana accountable for making through the course, and also it's like a running buddy. It helps you actually achieve your goals.
I did today, right? To remind you to join the course.
Yes, that's perfect. That's exactly what a sponsor should do. And Joel and Tris are sponsors, so they can sponsor each other. I think they spent quite some time together over in Chicago. Cynthia, they didn't have a sponsor, so that's why she's not here today. Actually, she was here at the last one. Yeah, she was at the last one. Okay, that's it for the sponsors, and that's pretty much it. Please come on Friday, sign up for the Friday class, and Monday, sign up for the next Monday class. Okay? All right, and then we will discuss about the videos, and we'll do some more case studies.
Lucky.
All right, great. I need feedback. Feedback from you, Vita, about this class so far.
Actually, it's really like how would I say? Like after we jump into like the practice, it's more interesting. So
Okay.
I like when there's a practice involved.
All right. Vita likes to practice. Aldo, what do you think?
Very insightful.
Okay.
Because now I know we need to make someone to feel better from their actual mission.
Well, a lot of decisions are based on it. Yeah. Okay. Don't just join us. Okay.
I will give you feedback after I watch the video.
Okay. And all right. Very diplomatic. Joel, any feedback?
Well, if you record this, you will see how negotiation goes without preparation.
Okay. All right. Very good. Thank you for that, insight, Joel. Dana and Tris, any feedback for me? Or any feedback for class?
So far so good, sir. I enjoy the learning. Good.
Dana?
Better to like have a lot of exercise. Like the exercise one, like it's really nice because negotiation and persuasion is actually like something that you need to repeat like all the time, right?
I agree.
Sounds good. All right. Let's do a salary increase next time, right? That'll be a fun one. And in order to do that, I think everybody should watch this. This is a good class. Really good class. If I was going for a pay raise, I would watch that because that is that's really interesting. Okay. See you all later this week then. Thank you for coming to the class. Bye.
See you at
Oh yeah. See you. So where were you?
here.
Thank you.